So one of the benefits that we have with neurofeedback for trauma, over and above talking therapy, EMDR, is you don't need to think about it. We don't even need to know the content of the trauma. You don't even need to know the content of the trauma. And we're talking with children who've been abused, before the age of lasting memory. That's exactly what we're dealing with.
Can you explain what neurofeedback is?
Sure. So what we do is we work with the electroencephalogram, the brain waves, the electrical activity in the brain, and in simple terms, we take the brainwave activity and we turn it into feedback. And so the way you get information into the brain is through the senses, and we use 3 of the senses. We use touch, we use sight, and we use hearing. So in simple terms, we monitor the brain's electrical activity and we turn that into feedback. And through that feedback learning loop, the brain can learn to control itself better. And a lot of the anxiety disorders, people with extremely busy minds, and if we can just turn that down, then the anxiety drops away. And that's a large part of what we do, just turning the tone down on the arousal level, on the nervous system and on the brain, so that people can function more effectively. And we see a lot of traumatized children. Very often we see them when they're adults, but they are traumatized children, and that childhood trauma is still haunting them. We know if it's not addressed, it buries itself in the body and it affects the mind and the body in all sorts of ways. And with one of the modalities of neurofeedback that we do, we can effectively flush that out of the system.
And when you flush that out of the system, what happens to the feeling?
Well, what happens with trauma is, people can sometimes get flashbacks, and where they take themselves back to that traumatic moment or that traumatic experience, and all the feelings that they felt at the time they re-experience. Once we've flushed it out, then that's no longer the case.
So it's almost like wiping the circuit board.
It's exactly that, yeah.